Okay, good morning everyone, and welcome to the Jobberman virtual press conference. My name is Sheila Ojei, and I'm going to be your host for the press conference. I am the communication specialist with Jobberman Nigeria. Today we're having this press conference to kick off the plans towards our virtual career fair, which is coming up on the 30th of September, Wednesday, 30th of September. So I'll just go through the agenda that we have for today. Like I mentioned earlier, please, representatives of the different media companies should please just write their full names and their companies in the chat section so that my team can just know who's present for the press conference. After that, we're going to have a key address. Well, I'm going to introduce, first of all, I will introduce the spokespersons, the Jobberman spokespersons who are here for this session and will be available for interviews later. And then after that, there'll be a key address from the CEO of Jobberman, Hilda Kragha. And then we'll have a statement from Mrs. Chidinma Lawanson, who is the Mastercard Foundation Country Head for Nigeria. And then there will be a Jubilo demo presentation by myself, just to walk through the platform that we'll be using for the event. And then we will have a Q&A section after that. And closing remarks will be done by Mrs. Precious Ajono. So once again, thank you so much for joining us. So just a brief introduction on, well, who Jobberman is, if you don't already know. Jobberman is one of, actually, it's Nigeria's leading recruitment training and recruitment platform and job placements platform. And we are having a virtual career fair on the Wednesday, the 30th of September. The purpose of this career fair is to connect 10,000 trained participants who've gone through our soft skills training to potential employers who are also going to be present. Now, usually we would have career fairs at different locations, but because of the current era that we have found ourselves with the pandemic, we are all now going virtual, and that's why it's a I keep saying virtual press conference, it's a virtual career fair. It is going to be Nigeria's largest, and it's going to be one of the very best of events, creating opportunities for both job seekers as well as employers looking to hire the right candidates for the right jobs. Now, Hilda Kragha is present. She is the CEO of Jobberman Nigeria. We also have Precious Ajono, who is the head of youth engagement and learning, who's also present. There's Amanda Potelwa, who is the program manager, and I really apologize, Amanda, program manager of strategy. Folusho Agbaje, who is the head of HR, and Ore Boboye, who is the COO of Jobberman Nigeria, and finally Olufemi Balogun, the monitoring and evaluation specialist for Jobberman Nigeria. These are the official spokespersons for Jobberman Nigeria. So if there's anyone or media representatives who would like to have interviews with any one of them following the press conference, please, these are the different people you could request for to have a session with. Clemens was supposed to be part of the press conference today, but unfortunately he couldn't make it because of a prior commitment. So I basically apologize on his behalf for that. Okay, on that note, I will hand over to Hilda, who will have the key address. Hilda? Okay.
Yes, thank you, Sheila. Welcome, everybody. I hope you can hear me okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Great. Thank you so much for joining us. I think we are very, very excited to announce this virtual career fair that will be happening on the 30th of September. And when I think about just Jobberman and what we stand for at our core, we stand for democratic access to employment, especially for young people. Living in an era now where even when there's opportunity, it's not widely highlighted to everyone who could take an opportunity for it. And in the end, actually, even the country loses out, because the way to increase workplace productivity actually is to make sure you have the right person in the right place, which means giving everybody as much opportunity as possible to apply for roles. And that's kind of the thinking we're bringing to this. I know Mrs. Chidinma Lawanson will speak some more about this, but we partnered with the Mastercard Foundation starting this year to train 5 million young Nigerians and link 3 million of them to dignified working opportunities by the year 2025. And we see this as one of the critical ways in which we can access young people and match them to jobs. If you think about what a career fair is going to do, typically you'd have people on site, lots of booths. We're trying to replicate the same thing, but it's going to be virtual because we're very aware of coronavirus. But we also know that even in this pandemic, just using the data on our website, we've seen growth. Tech jobs grown by 20% on as well. Overall, we saw up to, I think, an 83% in listings form, but in very specific sectors. And so what we're seeing is that young people who potentially could be capitalizing these opportunities do not necessarily know about them. And on the other hand, some employers are struggling to fill roles or maybe have a need for staff, and they're not able to get the right kind of talent. So we're hoping that with this career fair, we'll be able to bring job seekers and employers together for almost like a dignified labor exchange. It's probably going to be a few years before that. We also know that lack of training, young people not being ready for school are some of the hindering factors when it comes to building trust between employers and job seekers, especially from a job platform perspective. And that's why we are making sure that everybody who is coming to the career fair is going to have already been trained and assessed in our soft skills curriculum. They will be employable, they'll be ready for work, and they'll have the training it takes to be successful in these roles. And we're hoping that this is a value that we can bring as well. We're super excited about our partnership with Mastercard Foundation. I think even though Jobberman historically has been doing lots of career fairs, I know last year, for example, we did 500. And at one point we did 20 across 26 states in one day. But we're now able to bring this sort of impact to a much wider scale, a much larger level. I think just during the pandemic, the past 4 months, we've trained 40,000 young people, mostly virtually, and using Telegram and Zoom and other online systems. We've placed over 20,000 young people in dignified work. And even though it's hard work to do, we've had to innovate and find ways to do it. And so we had planned for a large physical career fair, but there's another way we are innovating to say, even though we cannot have something largely physical right now, we will still bring the value we believe needs to go to the market. We will still try and bring opportunities closer to young people. And even for employers, we're trying to bring talent closer to them. So thank you so much for joining. I'm looking forward to further collaboration across this. And naturally, we'll all work together 30th of September as a success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hilda. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please, you can just put it in the chat box, any questions, and we will address the questions right after the presentation, after I do the presentation of the platform. Okay, now we'll have Mrs. Chidinma Lawanson from Mastercard Foundation to please give us a statement.
Thank you so much to Jobberman for having us here, and thanks for everybody who has joined us here. Mastercard Foundation was set up in 2006 by Mastercard, as we know it, the corporate, although we have different governing bodies. And what does the Mastercard Foundation do? We seek a world where everyone has the opportunity to learn and prosper and have access to affordable and available financial services. So financial inclusion is very key to what we do. We work in Canada and in 7 countries in Africa, that is, where we work in Kenya, in Rwanda, in Uganda, in Ghana, Senegal, Ethiopia, and Nigeria. And we set up a strategy which we call Young Africa Works. And that strategy is to ensure that by 2030, we have 30 million young Africans in fulfilling and dignifying work. And out of those 30 million young Africans, we have a very high bar to ensure that 70% of them are young women, and the age bracket is from 15 to 35-year-old people, because we see that unemployment is really a great barrier to cross in Africa, especially as we have a young demographic population. So in Nigeria, which is the most recent country that Mastercard Foundation started playing in, we look at partners who would assist us in achieving our target. For Nigeria, our own target is 10 million young Nigerians in dignifying and fulfilling work by 2030. So you can imagine out of that overall 30 million target, Nigeria has 10 million. Ethiopia has another 10 million, and the other 5 countries share the 10 million. And it's also interesting to note that in Canada, we have a project, a project that we call LV, which is focused on the indigenous communities in Canada, and also for the young people to have access to dignifying work. So our own focus areas in Nigeria are in agriculture. 70% of our work will be in agriculture. 20% would be in the creative industry, so what we know as music, entertainment, arts, plays. In the hospitality sector, you know that the GDP of Nigeria was rebased based on the contribution of the creative sector. That's a sector that is really close to our heart and pulls in young people automatically. Another sector is the digital economy, where the young people are also attracted to it. So in this regard, we partnered with Jobberman, and it's our own intervention and projects with them fits rightly inside the digital sector, because they have an advanced recruitment platform, one of the largest in Nigeria. And our project, as Hilda has mentioned, in that initiative, we want to partner with them so that Jobberman would train 5 million young people in critical employability skills. And out of those 5 million, they'll be able to link 3 million of them to jobs by 2025. And even during the pandemic, as we had, they've already been carrying out virtual trainings. So this is one of the things coming up on September 30 of the virtual fair. So 10,000 job seekers will be mapped to 250 employers, and there will be master classes to teach them how to write their CVs, to teach them how to negotiate for their compensation. I'm sure many of us would have learned better if people took us through in our earlier career lives to know how to negotiate about compensation. And in that, Jobberman would also have employer engagement activities. So they are strong on the supply side of those looking for jobs and the demand side of the employers who are on their platform. They pull them in and map the two together. And that's really sitting squarely into our Young Africa work strategy, enabling linkages to employment between the job seekers and the employers. So they would also ensure that they train those job seekers, onboard them appropriately, and ensure they have pre-employment capacities to do their work well. And it's interesting to note that in this coming fair already, they would also have capacity building. And then they would ensure that they place many of these job seekers into fulfilling and dignifying employment. And in the intervention also, there's what we call the gig economy. We don't see some of those workers who are not in 9-to-5 jobs. So, but the Jobberman platform even brings them together to the kinds of entrepreneurial work that they seek to have. If you think of the photographer in the creative sector who is looking for areas where to use his skills appropriately, or the person that is building websites in the digital economy side. He doesn't have any address, but he knows his skills, and he can have access to markets from platforms and from master classes that Jobberman takes him through. or her through. I'm very happy and very interested in this and excited about this relationship with Jobberman, so that at the end of 5 years, we're happy to see those 3 million linked to jobs. And you see, that helps us with our targets. So thank you, everyone. We invite all the stakeholders to that September 30th job fair, where we see a lot of upskilling in capacities and linkages to job opportunities. Thank you very much to everyone. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, Mrs. Lawanson. Okay, so now I will go ahead and just do a presentation on the platform that we're going to be using for the career fair. The platform we're using is called Jubilo. Jubilo is a video or virtual conferencing platform where you can have different kinds of events, such as the career fair. Like we said before, and you've heard it at different times, we expect to have about 10,000 participants, which is 10,000 job seekers who would have gone through our Jobberman soft skills training from May till date, as well as employers as well, and employer partners who are also going to be on the platform. We will be listing jobs. There will be job listings, there will be opportunities for interviews, there will also be master classes as well. So just imagine what it's like going to like a typical career fair and you have different sessions, only that this time is from the comfort of your own home. So, which is a fantastic. Also, members of press will also be present. I believe some people who are here will most likely be present as well, so that you can also, you know, see what it's like and you know, take part in the different sessions. Just once again, I would say, please drop your name. If you're a media company, please drop your name and the media company that you're representing in the group chat, and also drop your questions as well. At the moment, I haven't seen any questions, but drop your questions as well, so that right after the demonstration, we can now go into the Q&A. Okay, so I will share my screen now, and we can go through. Sorry, please, just. Okay, could you all just confirm if you can see my screen, please?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you so much. So
yes, we can see it.
So this is the Jubilo platform. This is just a demo event, so it's not been populated or heavily populated. I will be going through it quite quickly, but just to give us a brief overview of what it's like. So when you log in, you have different options to log in. There's with social media, which is with Facebook or LinkedIn, or with your Google ID as well. So I've just gone ahead to log in with the Google ID. There are different sections on the platform. So you have what is like a reception, which is the main section where you have all the information that's going on. There is, you know, the agenda of events coming up. There's going to be virtual exhibition stands for our sponsors as well. Obviously, Jobberman will have a stand. I believe the Mastercard Foundation as well will have a stand, just as an exhibition of what they're up to and what the companies are, as well as other employer partners who, especially employers who will be hiring, they will have a stand. But I will go into detail in a bit. After the reception, you have an event feed where participants who are present can interact with, you know, with one another. In addition to that, information about ongoing sessions will also be included on the event feed. So just think of it as your typical social media, LinkedIn, Twitter feed, but this is strictly for the event that's going to take place. Another option is the attendees, where it's very easy to see the people who are attending the event. So some of my colleagues are here, Ojei, Timmy, and then we have some fourth speaker and second speaker and third speaker. By seeing this section of the attendees, it's very easy to, select and decide to have a meet, which is a video chat, or you either have like a chat or you have like a video call with that person, which obviously gives opportunity for participants to be able to have what is like mini chats with other participants as well as employers and representatives who will be attending the event. Then we have the agenda. Over here, there will be all the events that are going on and who is sponsoring and the different companies that are sponsoring. You will see the title, details about the event, and then obviously the speakers as well. And then you can also now see the profiles of the different speakers, as well as the company that will be sponsoring the particular session. In addition to that, there is a speaker section where you can actually get details on the speaker. So for instance, my colleague here, Timmy, is one of the assigned speakers for this demo event. And so we would have a profile, his profile, what he would be doing. Participants would also be able to rate, and there is the option to have a conversation. This is a sponsor stand, so all the sponsors, including Jobberman, will have a stand here where participants can get further information, what the products, their services, and what they offer. This also provides an opportunity for businesses to be able to see what other people are doing as well, business opportunities. And then, so there's the sponsors, and then there's also exhibitions as well, if there's any other exhibitions that will be done. And finally, for this demo, there is also a meetings. Now, this is for pre-scheduled meetings. There is the opportunity for participants to have pre-scheduled interviews before the event. And so these meetings will be here. At the moment, I don't have any meetings scheduled for this demo event, but all the meetings would be here. Now, what this does for the participants is that you can actually have chats, pre-booked chats with different companies before the day of the virtual career fair. There are other options that are actually not shown here on the demo, which is also a networking lounge. So members of press can also be part of the networking lounge to be able to have interviews as well. Also, the members of press can have interviews with meetings and schedule meetings during the event, just like you would in an offline event, except that now it's virtual. And finally, I think there's also a contest section where we would be having contests for participants and to get them involved, more active at the event. So that's really just the overview of the event. It's very user-friendly for members of the media or anyone present at this press conference who will be attending. You will get details on how to sign up and create your profile, and also just have a feel of the platform before the event. I don't know if there are any questions concerning the platform. If there are any questions, you can please just signify in the chat box, and then we can take it from there. But that's really what the platform is about. It's pretty straightforward. I believe it's one of the best things ever. But this is where we'll be having the virtual career fair on the 30th, Wednesday, the 30th of September 2020. Do we have any questions, please? Okay, I don't see any questions. If you have any questions, could you please just drop it in the chat, or you can just say you have a question, and then I could unmute you to ask your question. Will job seekers beyond the 10,000 trained people attend the conference? No, so what we have is the platform is only going to have 10,000. It's only going to be able to take in 10,000. So the 10,000 who are going to attend are going to be the ones who have been soft skills trained. Our hope is that by the time we do this first one, we can now then do subsequent virtual career fairs like this. So as, yes, sorry, Hilda.
Just to add to what you're saying, right? It's not that you must have already attended a prior cohort of soft skills training. If you want to be one of the 10,000 and you haven't done training now, you can sign up, do the training, get certified, self-paced. So you can anywhere between 2 weeks is definitely enough time for you to do it, and you can still be part of the champion. The fact that you've not yet gotten training now does not prohibit you from being trained and attending.
There's another question, says what category of employers will be attending and how do they qualify to participate?
Okay, I can take this as well. We'll have a wide category. I think just looking at the Jobbermans employer database, we work with a group of 68,000 employers that range from the largest companies you can think about in the country to micro SMEs with 1 to 5 members of staff. But the truth is, all of these people have staffing needs, and so we're trying to have something for every one of them. If you want to qualify, and especially if you want to participate, please reach out to the team. They'll let you know how. But even more directly, you can sign up to have your candidate pre-assessed, so that on the day you meet your shortlist, and you can have the meetings that Sheila demonstrated so well can be preliminary interviews. So if you're currently running a recruitment process, the best way to track it is to have your candidates pre-assessed and then meet your shortlist on the day.
So there's another question from Musa Suleiman. Thank you very much. Says, did Jobberman prep the 10,000 trained on the future of work? Because in adapting to the new normal, some jobs will disappear, others will be merged, and a handful will be created.
My favorite answer to this is that the best way to prepare for the future of work is to be adaptable, because either way, we don't know what the future holds. However, maybe we can let Precious, who is the head of our youth engagement and learning team, talk some more about our soft skills curriculum.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that question, Musa, and thank you, Hilda, for that. That's a very good question, and I'll tell you why. You asked specifically if we've trained people for the future of work. One of the core parts of our curriculum is adaptability, resilience, as well as agility. None of us, well, that's being very general, but most of us are not sure what's going to happen in the next quarter, in 2021, for example. But what we do know for sure is that the person who is most the person with the most flexibility is in control of the system. So part of our curriculum is to cover things like innovation, creativity, things like idea generation, how to ideate. So, and it's one of the reasons why we say for you to attend this virtual career fair, you should have gone through the soft skills training, because those are concepts that are covered in great detail, whether it's through quizzes, whether it's through the content itself, or even interactions that we have in Telegram. So the answer to that question will be yes, the short answer.
Thank you very much, Precious. The next question is, are there plans to incorporate hard skills in the training? Precious, could you please, I believe Precious would be in the best position to answer that. So are there plans to, and this is from Michael, are there plans to incorporate hard skills in the training?
So in Jobberman, we have a focus strategy. What we can do very well is soft skills training. However, we do have partners who focus in technical. So we will bring you the best partners, people whose expertise is in hard skills. But for us, we focus where we have most competence, and that's soft skills training.
Thank you very much, Precious.
Thank you.
Any other questions? And thank you, Michael, for that question. Are there any other questions? The question says, apart from the one-on-one interactions, would there be any other activities on the day? And I'll just take that. Yes, there will be other activities on the day, which was I mentioned when I was going through the platform. There would be master classes as well. There would be master classes of different topics, employability, as well as other relevant topics. Then there would be contests as well, sponsored contests where participants can also take part in the contests. There's also going to be the networking lounge, which again, obviously contributes to the one-on-one interactions, but it's also, the lounge gives the opportunity for different people to meet. So you can have one-on-one, you can have more than one, you can have maybe 2 or 3 or 4, or as many as up to 16 actually people meet at the same time. So I hope that answers your question. There's another question from Linda. Says, after the main event, what next afterwards? How would you engage the people after the training? Precious, please. Says, after the main event, what next afterwards, and how would you engage the people after the training?
Thank you so much for that, Linda, Business Day. So for us, and that's another reason why I like to Chidinma's points, that we are the best people to do this. We have a job portal that allows job seekers gain democratic access to jobs. So in a world where, yes, you don't find the opportunity that you're looking for come the 30th, please remain on our website. Why? Because we bring you, right, every single day we're updating the jobs. So the likelihood of you finding something in Jobberman as opposed to being outside of Jobberman is there. That's one. And through our youth engagement efforts, we constantly bring thought leaders. So it's one thing that we have masterclass on the 30th, but every single week we have some thought leader engaging young people. There's so many different opportunities as well. So what we would encourage is, yes, come for this event, but if you don't hear from us, please continue to engage us, and we will do our very best to make sure that you find the opportunity that you deserve. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you very much, Precious. Okay, and then the next question again from Mr. Suleiman is, what is in it for Jobberman? Are you doing this for free, or will you describe this as CSR? And I believe Hilda will be in the best position to answer that question.
That's actually very interesting. I would say it's very, very heavily an impact-driven event for us, but at the same time, it's not free because we are a business and we need our events to be sustainable. And that's why earlier when I mentioned that if, as an employer, the best way to participate is to have your candidates pre-assessed. The employer would cover that cost. It's not a very high cost. It's 50,000 Naira, and everybody who you'd want to be tested can be tested through that competency-based testing and for skill and competency. So if that's something you'll be part of, the cost will be 50,000 Naira. So we are doing a cost to job seekers. We know that already as a job seeker, you don't have budget lying around. However, as an employer, we believe that, there's a one way to make sure you do get the best quality candidates by making them pre-assessed. We have done the part in partnership with the Mastercard Foundation to make sure they're pre-trained. The employer's role is to ensure they're pre-assessed such that on the day you are meeting a qualified pool of candidates that are relevant to the role you want to hire.
Okay, and then just Hilda, before you go, another question says, what role is Jobberman playing to motivate the workforce considering the redundancy factor hitting the Nigerian economy?
I would say we're doing 3 things, and I love this because one of the theories of change, the theory of change of Young Africa Works, revolves around 3 key pillars, right? And that's the fact that if you want young people to have access to dignified workplace opportunities or working opportunities, you have to do 3 things in tandem, right? One is accurate and relevant training. The second is actually democratic access to jobs, linking them to opportunities. And the third is, of course, strong private and public sector markets that absorb this. And we are doing something along all these 3 metrics. On the first one, which is training, we've launched a soft skills curriculum, and it's because we know that even though opportunities are harder to come by, we want every young person who works with us in our 2.5 million database and growing to actually be best prepared to enter the world of work when the opportunity comes, especially now during the pandemic. Maybe you don't have a role, but you can be better suited for interviewing, better suited, have a better CV, get some work experience maybe. That's the first thing. On democratic access to jobs, one of the things we've done is to make our basic listing free. So we are now considering it a public good, in the sense that even though some SMEs or micro SMEs now don't have budget to recruit, they still need good time, and we wanted to remove for everybody trying to hire, and even for young people to get opportunities. So that's on that access bit. And on the third bit, which is around employers, we know that for employers, their biggest concern is how to hire the right person the fastest. And that's why we've been able to introduce things like, personality assessment and competency-based assessment tools, because then you don't have to go through so many unqualified candidates. It's very easy to shortlist. You can run this end-to-end process all through technology, and you avoid the face-to-face, which right now we're trying to discourage, and eventually end up with a recruitment process that's more streamlined. You get better quality candidates, and it's actually more affordable.
Okay, there's another question that says, given that many jobs in the economy are informal gig type of jobs, are there any plans in the future to have employers that provide gig opportunities?
So there are already employers that provide gig opportunities. We've not excluded them. I think if I'm looking at our platform currently, 2 of the biggest roles that are open are actually people who are looking for gig workers across all 36 states. We've got a company, we're working with an insurance company looking for 36,000 gig workers. So they're definitely not excluded. I think just thinking about the way there's a mindset gap to be bridged between what gig and the opportunities it presents and the old school thinking that even young people have, that job security comes from a month-to-month job. So I think one of the things we are trying to do as well is that education to let young people know that, gig work is an entryway at gathering work experience. You will get remunerated for it, and a permanent job might not be coming right now, but at least you're increasing your capabilities, you're growing your skills.
Okay. So the next question is 2 questions, actually, 2 questions in one. It says, what are the major requirements for both employers and employees to be a part of the fair? And is this fair open to Nigerians across the 36 states, or is it limited to key states? So I can answer the first part of it. So the major requirements for job seekers or the employees to attend is that you need to have been trained, gone through the soft skills training. So it's not just those people who are going through the training right now. If anybody's interested in coming for the career fair, at the moment it's self-paced. You can sign up, you can take all the classes. You also take the baseline as well as the endline assessment, which measures your improvements with the soft skills. And then once you get your certificate, you can attend the career fair. And that is for the employees, for the job seekers. For employers, on the other hand, is basically besides being listed on our platform, on the Jobberman platform, is also have vacancy because that's why we're there to hire. So obviously have a vacancy as well, and also have the assessments, skills assessments, which will be used to assess the potential candidates that you are interested in. So I don't know if there's anything else you want to add to that, Hilda. That's the employers. Oh, okay. So the next question is this fair open to Nigerians across the 36 states, or is it limited to the key states? Now, for the Young Africa Works program that we are part of, the target states are Lagos, Kaduna, and Kano. Those are our target states for the mandate. However, it is possible that there might be people from other states who would want to attend the fair, so we can't stop them, but our major focus is Lagos, Kano, and Kaduna. There's another question, says, how often do you or will you organize this career fair? And that's from Emmanuel from Vanguard. Hilda?
I think this is the first one, and there's going to be lots of learnings for us, but also it's very exciting. In the perfect world, you have a career fair possibly every quarter, accounting for when people leave university, accounting for the NSC cohorts, and just the general recruitment trends in Nigeria. So we're going to do this now in September. If all goes well, we could have another maybe in January, but let's pull off this one really, really well first and set a standard for the next levels.
Okay. So there's another question. I believe we've actually answered this, Mr. Kinsley. So what is the role in Jobberman playing to motivate the workforce, considering the redundant? Yes, that has been answered. That was answered by Hilda earlier. So another question says, hi all, I've just joined the meeting. Welcome. What are your implications in logistics and supply chain fields, and also in the Francophone area?
So for the Francophone area, Jobberman is part of a larger company called Ringgit Africa Media, and we do have presence in Francophone Africa through our sister company in Expat Dakar. So that hopefully that helps. For logistics and supply chain, I'm not what the question is addressing. Is it about and how they're performing right now, or how well we do? I think historically, if I think about last year, logistics was actually one of our top 5 performing industries. This year as well, it's still high, especially during the pandemic, because a lot of companies pivoted to become delivery businesses. So we've still seen that steady rise, and I would say it's still one of our top 10 industries.
Okay. All right. So I think we have time for one more question, and then we can move on to the next thing on the agenda. So any more questions? Okay, so in the absence of questions, oh, it's one more question. Do you have set targets for the career fair? That is, how many job seekers do you expect to be hired after the event? Sorry, Hilda?
So I would say we do have a soft target, but also having been in this industry for a while, we know that recruitment processes last on average 3 months, and even though during the career fair, we plan to keep track and see what the status is by the end of the year, and probably by the end of January, since most people start in January. Of course, our goal is to have all 10,000 people linked to jobs. And for people coming to the career fair, we'll still work with you, even though you don't get an opportunity then to make sure that you're placed in the coming months. But yeah, recruitment processes take longer than just that one day.
Okay, thank you very much, Hilda, and thank you for everyone that's asked the question. And so now we'll move on to closing remarks by the Head of Youth Engagement and Learning, Precious Sajona.
Thanks so much, Sheila, and thanks everyone for being part of this call. Very kind comments from Retendo. She says it's great innovation. And I think we're going to end on that note, to be honest. We, as a people, are going through one of the toughest times in modern history. And what we're trying to do is solve a problem. We do have an youth, in particular, unemployment challenge in Nigeria, and Jobberman wants to solve it. But wise people say when you want to win championships, you're going to need everybody's input. So we're not doing it alone. That's why we have Mastercard. That's why we have you in the media. So we're hoping that everybody would support us to get this done. I agree with Hilda. Perfect world, 10,000 people get placed. I will have a great Christmas, including everybody on this call. So let's work together. If you know companies, for example, looking to recruit, please let them know that we have the largest ever career fair coming up. If you have friends and family members, young people looking for opportunities, it's very important that they sign up for this fair and be a part of it. Thank you very much for your time.
And on that note, thank you so much. Thank you once again to Mastercard Foundation for being present. Mrs. Chidinma Lawanson, really thank you. Thank you to all the members of the media. If you know you haven't written your name and the company or the media company that you represent, please do so now before I end the conference. And I mean, welcome to the new normal. We have a virtual press conference. Yay! And we're going to have a virtual career fair on the 30th. So we look forward to seeing some of you at the virtual career fair. And obviously you'll be hearing a lot more about us and what we're going to be doing and everything, the countdown towards the career fair. But thank you so much. And also the press kits will be shared after this conference. So we expect to get the press kits from your key contacts. And yeah, and that's it. Thank you so much for coming. And once again, my name is Sheila Ojei, Communication Specialist for Jobberman Nigeria. Thank you. So I'm just going to be here for you can drop off. If you've already written your name before, you can drop off. I'm just going to be here for everyone who might not have written their name and the media company that they represent, maybe for another 2 minutes or so. So we can just all register everyone who attended.
No.
Okay, on that note, I will be ending this. Thank you so much for coming. Do have a fantastic day.